Hello guys, so this is now part 2 of me unboxing and setting up the gimbal that I got. If you saw my other video, I purchased the Ronin SC a few days back, mostly because it was on special. It was a good price and I thought I got a bargain, but also because I actually need to start using it and start getting accustomed to using the gimbal so that we can improve the quality of the YouTube videos. So what I've done is you need to actually mount the gimbal head to the handle so that you can charge it. I then charged it and now I'm ready to set up the balancing. So it is a 3-axis gimbal. I've actually unlocked all the axes, but in setting it up you can actually lock the axes that you're not gonna be setting up and then start setting up, I think, one axis at a time. The Ronin came with user guides. The user guide is actually not very useful in that it helps you set up the gimbal, and then it says, you know what, go and get the Ronin app. So the Ronin app I've downloaded onto my phone, and you can then find the tutorial on balancing the gimbal, which is how to balance the gimbal is a 4-minute. I'm just going to put the sound off. So it's a 4-minute video that I'm going to now follow and set up or set up the balance of the gimbal to get the camera mounted. So I've got my A7III with the 50mm 1.8, which I use as a sort of a run and gun setup, video setup, so that I can, you know, shoot my mom with and her videos with this setup. I've got a Rode video mic on that I bought because it's a directional mic, so you know, if I'm shooting video, it gets the sound coming from it, mostly because I'm quite a heavy breather, and the initial videos we did, you could hear me breathing in the background while I was taking the video. Okay, so the first thing to do is actually to put onto the bottom of the camera what do you call this? This is a sort of a spacer that DJI provides that then makes sure that the mounting plate is not touching the lens. Okay, so DJI sends a couple of these, I think it's 1/4-inch mounting screws with the purchase. So you just screw in. Oh, actually what I need to do, just to check how long this takes, I'm going to set up the stopwatch. So let's see how long this actually takes to balance. From the videos I've seen, the reviews have been quite there's been rave reviews on how quickly it is set up and balanced, so compared to other gimbals, because of the lock feature. So let's see how long that actually takes. Okay, so I'm just getting the spacer. I just use a coin to tighten. Okay, so the spacer is mounted. Then you have to, well, you have the base plate. I've put in the screw, and I'll set it up for a light setup. Basically, the lighter your lens, the further forward the base plate is, and then the heavier your lens, the further back the screw or the base plate mounting screw is, so that you can, you know, balance the lens and the weight of the lens out. Okay, so then the next thing to do is to mount it to so then mount it to here. Unlock. And okay, so the next thing to do is to slide this in. Okay, so it slides and it mounts in. I'm just going to get this arm needs to lock. Okay, I'm locking that arm. I'm going to lock that arm. And I'll okay, so it slides in. Oh, then let's see what the next step is. Okay, so the camera now is mounted, but it's actually locked in place. And I think the first balancing I'll need to do is to see whether the camera is too far forward or back. So I'll unlock this arm, and I think it is now too far. Oh, I haven't actually. Let me just check how this is done. Okay, so the base plate and the plate is in. Okay. So the instruction is, if you've got something like the mic on it, you need to almost make it balance at around 45 degrees. And if you've got the your phone mounted on the top as well, you need to also attempt to get it balanced there. Okay, so the base plate has a screw underneath it. Okay, so then that's too far back. Let's just move it forward. Okay, that's too far forward. The good thing is all of the base plate and the axes have markings, so you can actually it's like ruler markings that then you can just actually use to get your balancing right. So I'm just moving, well, it's not the most precise movements, but as you can see, okay, so that's too far back still. Okay, I think I've got it. So then what you need to do is, there's a little screw here that then serves as the memory point, and you move it in. Okay, so the next step is actually making sure that the camera is not sitting too far forward or back with this arm, so we can actually adjust that arm. So after we got the base plate adjustment correct, we can then that seems pretty good. So what's the next one? Oh, okay, so then we lock here, and then we unlock this one. Okay, so now we need to balance the next direction. Okay, so it's too much to the right. We need to then undo this. Okay, so that is tight, that is tight, and undo that. I think that's luck more than anything. So I think we just need to move it one notch. Okay, so now it's balanced, I think front, back. And left, right. So can lock this again and lock this again, and then okay. So now the last axis to balance is the pan axis. And it says, okay, so I must unlock that pan axis, so then the pan, that's, and it says to tilt it forward. Okay, so it's going to the right, but yeah, okay, so it's going to the right, but how do you then, so I guess it's going to the right, so I'm guessing The video instruction is not quite as clear on this, because if it's going to the right, I'm not too sure what the video is saying. Adjust it forward or to the right. So that, I think if you pull the arm backwards at this point, you're going to be adjusting it to the right. So you need to push it forward, and then it will adjust to the left, if I'm not mistaken. So let's just adjust it a little bit more. Okay, so this base plate actually needs a second screw before I start mounting that. Okay, I had to remount the base plate. It needs a second screw so that it doesn't, the camera with the spacer doesn't rotate on it. It comes with 2 screws, so tightening it would help. Okay, so then I need to redo this. Okay guys, so I didn't realize that my camera had stopped at 30 minutes. Okay, so I've continued to I think I've got this balanced. I've continued to run the clock, and it's about 43 minutes at the moment. I think I've got it balanced, but when I went to connect to the Ronin, it's asked for a firmware update. So I started the firmware update, and the firmware update so far has taken about 8 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna cut it here. The clock is still running. I'll cut the video here so that we don't run on the 30 minutes on the camera again. And then once the firmware updates, I can then test the balance on the Ronin. So far it's been frustrating to try and get this balanced, but hopefully we pretty close to there, 40 minutes in, and yeah, we can then pick it up again from there once it's updated and the firmware is running. Okay, so the firmware is updated. Quickly check on the time. We're 51 minutes in, so that update took about 15 minutes roughly to do. So I'm going to just switch this on again. Okay, begin test. Okay, you have to hold that. Begin test. Okay, it says all the axes need rebalancing. Let's just sort this out. Okay, so I'm going to switch it off again. I think. Okay, so that will need rebalancing. I think now, to get the fine balancing done, we need to keep the locks unlocked. Okay, so how are we doing for time? Okay, so 58 minutes in, we're gonna try and turn it on again. Connect to the app. And then try this balance test again. Okay, so I've got excellent pan balance, good roll balance. I'm just making sure they're all unlocked. And the tilt balance needs rebalancing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to call it. It's just a little bit more on the tilt balance. And I'll play around with it, but I've spent 60 minutes trying to get it right. Haven't been able to get it right. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it there for this video. And then we'll take it up again in the next video. If I get it right, I'll let you all know. If I don't, I'll let you all know. Hi guys, so finally got it right. I took a break for lunch, sat and contemplated life, but yeah, eventually I got the balance right. I think let me see which one is this pan. Okay, so it's this one, I think, which is the tilt arm. Yeah, tilt. So this is tilt, this is roll, this is pan. So the tilt arm took a while to get balanced, and part of it was me not following the instructions 100%. But part of it was also that it's a bit finicky and it needs like micro adjustments to get right. So yeah, a bit of a frustrating 90 minutes spent trying to get it balanced. But I got it done. I guess I gave up a little bit too easily. But still, for a first time user, I think it can cause a lot of frustrations. Anyway, let's see how it goes. And on to the next one.